Welcome back. So hopefully by now we have been able to turn the absorbances and concentrations into a calibration curve. It's now time to have a look at our samples. We're going to do all 5 of them. You only have to choose the 3 that you've justified in your introduction. So each of these samples, remember where they are, remember which ones matter to you. So I'm just going to go them in order, but the most important thing is for each of these we want to make them the same way that we made these, so that they are fair. So we're going to use 20 ml of our creek water, and we're going to add 20 ml of our creek water into each of these things. So I've labelled them up A, B, C, D, relating to where we got them from. We're then going to add in 2 ml of the molybdate solution, and then we're going to add in a little sprinkle of the ascorbic acid once again. So first step, 20 ml of A. Let's see how we go. A little bit short of, ooh, it's got some floaties in it. Got some pond water, got some pond life in this one. That'd be cool. $20 ml. We'll pop that into A, just like that. I'm then going to get 2 ml of my molybdate solution. Remember, the molybdate doesn't add any phosphates to it. All it does is it turns them blue. So I'm not actually adding any extra phosphate into this. So 2 ml. Perfect. 2 ml of molybdate and a little sprinkle of ascorbic acid to get it started. Stir it around. Once I've got all 5 of them done, I'm going to heat that for about 8 minutes, and hopefully we'll start to see a little bit of blue coloration, and we can take it from there. So I'll leave that with you. I'm going to do the same process for each of them. So that process is 20 ml of the sample, 2 ml of the molybdate, and a little bit of ascorbic acid. So when I return, I'll have them all done. They'll have been heated for 8 minutes, and hopefully we'll see a little bit of blue. See you soon. Okay, welcome back. So these are the 5 samples, and you can see some of them have gone blue, some of them haven't gone blue. That's a good indication of what's happened. Out of interest, that's our standards from earlier that hopefully you've done the calibration curve for. So I'll put them out of the way. It's now time to test these in the colorimeter. So I'm going to do the colorimeter like we did before. We've got little curvettes, and we're going to grab each of the samples, and it looks to me like something's gone on here, hasn't it? Just by looking at the colours, it looks like there's a definite difference in the amount of phosphates in this river system. I wonder if you can justify why. So here's our first one. This is sample A. Remember, this was at Cascade on Clyde. And I'll just run that through the machine. Here we go. And that gives a number of 0.331. Okay, 0.331. I hope you can see that green colour. Let's see how we go. Okay, let's try the next one. So remember, you're only choosing 3 of these samples. You don't care about all of them, you just care about the ones that matter to you. So let's try B now. B doesn't look like it's got much phosphates in it at all. So that was the Hallam main drain. So the water's coming from a different area, a different part of the place. Looks like a part of the place that has less phosphates in it. Fill that up to the same point. I'm going to run it through the machine. Hit play, and it's got a very low number, which is what we would expect. It's 0.047. Okay, next one is C. Now C is a nature reserve, flora and fauna reserve in the Pines, kind of Seaford area, Frankston North. But that water is not coming from Seaford, that water's coming from down the Mornington Peninsula. And once again, it looks like it's bluer again. We'll see how it compares to the water we got from Clyde. Let's see. Ooh. So, the water at the Pines, flora and fauna, gives an absorbance of 0.38. 3 times I tried to say the same word. Okay, let's go over to D. D now. D is Patterson Lakes. This is the final slow part, just before it enters the bay. It goes to a very large marina system. There's houses around. But the water that gets into Patterson Lakes comes from quite a large area of the town, not just from our Cranbourne area. So Patterson Lakes has a reading of 0.352. Pretty high. The final one we're going to do is just before the river enters the bay. So this is on the Patterson River at Carron, just before the beach. It's about 300 metres away from the bay itself. All the water has now been filtered through everywhere. And just by looking at it, it doesn't look like it's going to contain many of the phosphates that some of the others did, because it is certainly not very blue. Let's see what it does. Okay, final reading is 0.046. Okay. Whether these numbers, use these numbers to find out the concentration of phosphates in the water at the places that you selected. Just remember, you chose 3 of these in your intro, not all 5. You would have made in your hypothesis a prediction as to which ones would be high and which ones were low. If that's the results that you got, awesome. But what would be really important now is to try and explain, justify, try and sort out if those results are what you expected. If they are what you expected, that's fine. You're now on to the last bit of the poster, which is the discussion and the conclusion. Hopefully that makes some sense. Thank you.